Hey guys, today I just want to talk to you about what I think is the best budget roof rack for the Jeep Wrangler JK Unlimited. This is the Smittybilt SRC roof rack. I bought it off Amazon for about $400, and at time of filming this video, it was for sale on Amazon for $388 shipped to you. So I think that's a pretty darn good deal. So as you can see, this roof rack has 4 mounting points, 2 on the front A-pillars. You basically just remove the factory bolts and then you use these 4 bolts that come with the awning, and then it bolts right in place. It's pretty stable. As you can see, I can rock the whole Jeep and it doesn't budge at all. So there are 2 ways that you can mount this roof rack to the rear of the Jeep. One is a bracket that comes with the roof rack also, and it basically just has you drill 2 holes into the tub, and then it has a top piece that you would slide this tube over and then it bolts into place. The second is the frame mounted option, which you can see I went for. So the only drawback to the frame mounted bracket is that it does not work with the factory bumper, because the factory bumper comes up to right about here. So you either need a bumper that will work with that. I had the Rock Brawler 2 by Poison Spider, and that came up to right about here on the frame, or just run no bumper as I've done here. So the reason why I'm not running a bumper is one of the other drawbacks to this roof rack is if you have a Curry anti-rock in the rear, you can see that where this mounts is the same 2 holes that the Curry anti-rock uses. So it's kind of one or the other. You can either have a bumper that mounts right there, or the Curry anti-rock, and then the roof rack, or either or. Now, if you are still running the factory sway bar, which bolts into right here, you'll be totally fine. But it's just something to keep in mind, you know, what you're already using and what you want to do in the future. And then here I just used a leftover bolt with a captured nut, and that helped secure it in place for me. So you can see on the front bar right here, there are little tabs which you can use for lights. And it's not specific. You can either have these facing backwards, forwards. I just knew I wasn't going to use them, so I had them facing backwards just to put them out of the way. So the roof rack also comes with these crossbars. There's one that mounts in the front here, which I don't have on right now because I just don't need it. Another here, and then 2 in the back also, which I use to secure my rooftop tent in place. You can kind of get an idea of how that works. For the rear, we also have 2 little tabs, 1 on each side, and you can use those for whatever you want. I mean, you know, most people probably use them for accessory lights. Another thing is the front and rear bars are not exclusive to the front or rear. So say you want 4 tabs in the rear, you can do that. If you want 2 tabs in the front, you can do that. Not a bad design. So to hold my ARB awning on, I got these brackets which ARB sells, and then the points where the 2 tubes bolt together, I just got some slightly larger washers, top and bottom, and I was able to just tighten those down really well, and as you can see, this thing's not budging, it's not going anywhere. So that's actually worked out really well for me. I thought I'd need a 3rd bracket, but the 2 have held it just fine, and it's super solid. So for my quick pitch ensuite room, what I was able to do was source these bar clamps that you would normally use for, you know, accessory lights or whatever else, and I just simply drilled some holes through the back here, and then I clamped them in place, and that's also worked out really well. It's super stout, it's not going anywhere, real easy install. For my shovel, I was able to just use the holes that these crossbars bolt into, and then it took a little doing to get this one in here, but you can see I was able to just bolt these quick fists right down, and then the unused hole is what I used over here, and it's actually pretty nice. I really like what I've done there, and I think it's a great way of storing that shovel. So I don't know if everybody would agree with me that this is the absolute best roof rack in the world, but for the price I paid and the functionality that I've gotten out of this thing, you know, I really can't beat it. I know there are other manufacturers like Front Runner and Gobi and all kinds of brands who make really great products. But like I said, for the money that I paid and the use I've gotten out of this thing over the last 2 years, you know, it just can't be beat. Anyways, if you guys like what I'm doing and you appreciated this video and this little overview, go ahead and feel free to hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you can get updates about all the new content that I'll be posting. And then, of course, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy.